Well, I'm sure you recognize this iconic monument over my shoulder. It's the tower that Gustav Eiffel built in 1889. But more than a century earlier, there was another magical date here in Paris that speaks to us to the way innovation unfolds even 2.5 centuries later. It was August the 27th, 1783, and more than 50,000 people were in the Champ de Mars, the field around where the Eiffel Tower stands today. The group included Benjamin Franklin, America's first ambassador to France, and really our nation's first scientist. Why were they here? Everyone had gathered with anticipation to watch the rise of one of the world's first hot air balloons. There's a couple of interesting lessons to think about. Then as now, innovation always involves people who learn from each other, who build off of each other's efforts. The balloon that day was launched by a man named Jacques Charles, but he was following in the footsteps of the Montgolfier brothers, who had launched the first balloon a few weeks earlier. And after Charles' balloon, there was another that rose, the first one to take animals safely, thankfully, into the air and bring them back to Earth. And after that, the first balloon went up with human beings who were able to look down at the ground and see it as no one had ever seen it before. But there's a second lesson as well, and it speaks to how difficult it is to really predict how innovation, how inventions are going to be used. As Franklin looked up into the sky at that balloon, he predicted that balloons would be used to store meat. People would use a pulley, raise it, keep it cool in the upper atmosphere, and then bring it back down when it was time for dinner. Well, not so much. We all found out that refrigerators worked a lot better instead. But the truth is, even today, when we all woke up, we benefited from the fact that in 800 locations around the world, balloons are used to help monitor the atmosphere and predict the weather. It sort of gives a whole new meaning to the phrase, powered by the cloud. Speaking of which, they say a thunderstorm is rolling in. I think I better get a jacket, or maybe a kite. Thanks for joining me.